Awesome. This is Raymond. He completed 6 months of the Precision Lifestyle Coaching, and he is here to share his experience with the program today. Raymond, are you ready to get started?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. So tell us about yourself. How old are you? What do you do? What's your background?
49. My background is uh, making a lot of jokes and drinking coffee and beer. It's actually what I do mostly at work, except for the beer. But I do management stuff. So I have a relatively, not a relatively, I have a very sedentary job. But I have always been fairly active outdoors, between running or cycling or, that type of stuff. And I came to you guys, I weighed actually 236, and I tried on my own for, it had to have been close to a year to get down. And after a few months of trying pretty hard, I'd lost 6 pounds, and I realized that that just wasn't going to cut it. So I reached out to Rob, talked with him, felt like it was going to be a fit. So we started. And so while I was with you guys, I lost 30, hovering between 26 and 30 pounds that I lost in 6 months, whereas in 9 months on my own, I lost 6 pounds. I have a lot better, I feel a lot better physically, mentally. It's been a pretty impactful change, learning from you guys.
Awesome. And what were your big breakthroughs from the program?
Knowing what you're doing. The number one thing is knowing what you're doing. Stop thinking that you know what you're doing and know what you're doing. Know what it is that you're eating, understand what it is that you're eating, and then be willing to make the trade-offs. But you guys know we have a boat, a lake place, and that pretty much means a lot of day drinking and a lot of drinking on the weekends. And I didn't have to do away with that. So I was able to still have fun and drink with my brothers, mix in a little bit of soda or water in here and there, drinking light beers. But I did not have to sacrifice very much, and I still lost, 30 pounds.
Awesome. And what were you skeptical of at the beginning?
Uh, that's not necessarily a fair question because I know Rob, so I knew that I had confidence in him, so there wasn't anything that I was necessarily skeptical about. If I was skeptical about anything, it would be my willingness to learn and relearn habits. So any skepticism would have come from my end of my personal doubts, but I didn't really have too many of those, so I didn't have any issues with that.
Awesome. And who would you recommend this program for?
So I felt like I didn't utilize this program near as much as I could have because I felt like I had control of it, and really, the guidance and the learning that I did from you kind of pushed me over the edge of being confident with it. So I felt great about it. But I would recommend this for anybody that is, if you're struggling to lose weight and you're starting to develop, especially if you're starting to develop, like I was having stomach problems and just other, I was starting to have other little issues that were annoying that could easily have been attributed to age. So if it was somebody like me that's getting up there, 45, 50 years old, you got a little bit of you have a weight problem and you are struggling to get under control, you're trying to beat it down with exercise or weird dieting things, keto's not going to solve it for you. 100 miles a week on a bike isn't going to solve it for you. Attacking it from different angles isn't going to solve it for you. You need to relearn and soak up the knowledge that you guys have to offer.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you want to mention?
You can still drink beer. It was a great program. I'm glad that I did it. One of the scary things, and I don't care who you are, one of the scary things has to be the financial investment. I was I was nervous about that. But the way I looked at it is if I learned enough to to lose the weight effectively and keep the weight off with the habits that I picked up, then the money was well worth it. And so now at the end of 6 months, if you ask me, was the money well worth it? I say that I know that I have learned enough to take care of myself in the future. And I have learned the do's and the don'ts and the necessity of being responsible to yourself for what it is that you're consuming and what you're doing. So I think that the money spent was definitely worth it.
Awesome. Raymond, thank you so much for your time today. You've crushed it in the last 6 months. And me and Rob, we're super excited to see you continue growing, getting better from here.